What up, y'all? Benjamin here from Hack Club. Thanks for joining us again for another Instagram live session of Recap. We'll have Justin from the NoHo store on a little bit later, but joining me today from the Great White North is Mr. Leon Chen. Leon, what up, dude?
Not much, chilling.
Nice. So, gonna start off with the easy questions, and then we'll progressively get a little bit harder as the show goes on.
Okay.
First one up. When did you first get into 5950s?
Ooh, it's probably around grade 7. I was watching a music video with my cousin. We're really close. Money Ain't a Thing, and
Oh yeah.
he took to Jay-Z. I took to Jermaine Dupri, and the rest is history.
Okay, actually, because you bring up Jermaine Dupri, I got kind of a weird story about him. So this goes back to 2001, I want to say. So Jermaine Dupri, Little Bow Wow. I was living in Portland at the time, and I was working for a different company up in Portland called Just Sports, which I don't know how many Northwest viewers we have in here. Some of you guys might know this, but I was working at our location on the east side of Portland at a mall called Lloyd Center, and I'd only been up in the Pacific Northwest for maybe like 6 months at this point. And it was late at night. All of a sudden, we just hear this ruckus going on. Nothing bad, just like a lot of people like, oh my God, et cetera, et cetera. Well, then all of a sudden, Jermaine Dupri and Little Bow Wow come walking in the store because they got a show that night and they want to get some new fits for the gig. And my limited knowledge at this point in time, because I was a youngling, of rap music was kind of astray. But the other guy I was working with was just like, fanboying like beyond hard. So that's my Jermaine Dupri story.
Cool. I never got that close to him.
No, okay. Nice guy. I mean, from what I could say, I mean, he was super polite, super friendly. I think he ended up grabbing, God, what did he get? He ended up grabbing a Trailblazer jersey, and then this was also when the Portland Beavers had kind of come back, so we got a Portland Beaver hat to kind of match with that when it was just the kind of like the old school style P, but it was when they were just doing the black and red stuff. One of the few Portland Beavers hats that I did not have a chance to pick up.
Yeah. There's one that away.
So what is it about New Era hats that kind of drew you to them outside of Money Ain't a Thing?
It's what the pros wear. I've always just stuck to them. It's always something that interested me, and just the fit, the culture, just everything about it. I don't know. I've been obsessed for I can't even, pretty much my whole life.
So because when you said it was grade 7, so how long ago was this?
Well, I don't know. My math's bad, but it's got to be early 90s, right?
Okay.
So, I guess I grew up with like snapbacks and hats in general. You probably never, as a kid, you probably never seen me without a hat. But I didn't get into fit. So yeah, I would say grade 7.
Nice. I was gonna say I think you and I are I want to say about the same age because I'm 37.
Yeah, I'm turning 35 in.
Okay.
So around that kind of.
Yeah, because at the point when I really started getting into fitted hats, I mean, this would have been like freshman year of high school, so this would have been 98, I want to say.
Okay, so it's probably around the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What was the first hat that you had picked up, or the first fitted?
The first fitted that I remember after that music video, it was going to be the Atlanta, like the regular Atlanta navy with the red, with the A. And then,
classic.
I remember picking up a bunch of Blue Jay ones. They had like the Chinese letter at the front.
Yeah.
And then around that time too is like when the Blue Jays kept changing their logo, so I was like forced to buy all their hats. Like almost like they changed their logo like 6 times.
All within like a span of like 5 or 6 years, it seemed like.
Yeah. So that's what kind of just jump started me. But yeah, it's just one of those things that you just never leave your house without it, I guess.
Do you still have the original one that you picked up?
No, it's lost. And I forgot that trick. Do you remember those things that they used to sell with the plastic? and then that you can stick your hat in and you can just throw it in your like dishwasher or
Oh
your
yeah,
lawn.
the ball cap buddies.
Yeah, I got scammed by those. So my first hats, they all got ruined. Trying to clean them, like the
Yeah,
dye was run, um, and then the buckram got all wavy and stuff. So yeah, all my
yeah.
first, they all got ruined. And I think back then I remember my first hat. I probably started at 7 1/4, and then in high school I probably wore 7 5/8, and then now I wear size 8. So none of that stuff would even fit me anyway.
Going back to what you were saying as far as the ball cap buddy, this is actually one of the primary reasons why we stopped carrying them, just because I mean there's obviously a process that you have to kind of undertake as far as being able to use it effectively. But then again, throwing it in the dishwasher or even throwing it in a washing machine, I mean, at the end of the day, if you still want to keep that kind of like perfect fit to it, I mean, you've really got to do it by hand. But in which case, trying to wash a hat by hand inside this cage is not exactly, you know, rocket science.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I ruined like 2 or 3 hats, and then I just tossed them. Like this is false advertising. I tossed them. Whatever. But yeah,
As I say, just get a brush and some cleaner, and you're pretty much good to go doing it by hand these days.
yeah, exactly. Well, now I have a new policy: don't wear a hat more than 3 times. Then you'll never.
Ooh,
So then you'll never need to clean them.
yeah, no, exactly. That's kind of what I've been doing, and it's like at any point in time when I know there's like a little bit of grime kind of building up on it. I mean, there's obviously a few that I'll kind of run through where it's like, because I'm usually wearing a jersey, so it's like I'm so limited on as far as like what hats I can actually match with it. Like we'll say like a Dallas Mavericks. I mean the old royal and green, and I've only got my Hartford Yard Goats and uh, uh there's one other one that I have. I don't know why I can't think of it right now, but it's like I basically have to keep cycling through the same two over and over, and so that would be the only reason where it's like, okay, I got some grime building up on this guy.
Fair, fair. Yeah,
How
you gotta.
how many hats you at right now? Would you say?
Well, so I have an Instagram that tracks all of this, but
Yeah,
I haven't kept it updated. So I still need to update the MLB, the NBA, and the minor leagues. So without those categories, it's 1,000. So
uh-huh.
I think it's gonna be around 1,500, give or
Okay.
take. Yeah, but I'm
Which is
trying
say,
to
go ahead.
tab. I'm trying to keep an official tab, and I use my Instagram as kind of like an index. So I kind of have everything hashtag like primary color, secondary color, year of production, material,
Dang.
advisor, so I can find it. I mean, like I mainly set it up so that I wouldn't buy the same hat twice. Because
Yeah.
like sometimes you're in a rush and you're like, okay, well, do I have this? And you need to make that decision.
So
But
do you have like your regular Insta account and then you just have like a separate one for just the hats then?
it's just for indexing my hats. Yeah.
Dang.
So like they're all because the big thing is if like you get a certain collection and you just post your hats, like you don't want to like if you're looking for something, you gotta like scroll for like 10 minutes, right? But if you
Yeah.
have specific hashtags set up for it, so if I know I'm looking for, let's say, purple and orange, there's a hashtag for that. So I can find all my purple and orange hats. Or if,
Okay. I
and then
was gonna say
it's
you
broken.
got a much more complex system than I do, where it's like for me, it's literally just throw them on the wall, throw them in a bag, and then just hope to God that my brain just kind of works out and remembering, okay, have I picked this one up yet?
Yeah, well, see, I got to that point and I couldn't remember. So there was times where like, certain lots, you try to catch a deal on eBay or someone's selling their stuff and you just don't remember what you have, right? Like especially
Yeah.
with the changes of, I collect Blue Jay hats, so it's like to know the difference between like 3 years ago their All-Star game cap compared to 4 years ago, it's like hard to remember. So then you could just, sort it out. So team, city, league, division, sport, and you can just go and you can find it real quick, real easy.
What team would you say is at the forefront of your collection?
It's between Blue Jays and Raptors, I would say.
Okay.
Like a couple hundred each, maybe.
How challenging has the Raptors aspect of it been, just on account of the fact that especially when New Era took over the NBA licensing contract, but then at the same time they lost the rights to do any of the Hardwood Classic stuff. So how has that challenge been over the last couple of years for you?
Well, it sucks, but luckily they retroed the old logo this year, and then
Yes,
I got into the buyer's ear from one of your competition. So
that's okay.
those guys. So I got into his ear and I was like, "Yo, you guys have to release a bunch of these rapper hats." And he's like, send me the colors that you want. I'll do my best. So then they
Yeah.
released a bunch. So I picked up a bunch. So
I mean, that is kind of the reality in regard to hat collecting, and especially with us for like the last couple of months. I mean, one, everything's selling out as fast as it has been, but then two, it's like at the same time we're still kind of limited as far as like what we can and cannot release.
yeah,
Um, but then, yeah, in a team like the Raptors, I mean, I don't mean this as a knock to them. Um, there are pockets of popularity that they've had because I mean, you go back to the early 95 through about 98, and it's like, yeah, the logo was cool. Damon Stoudemire was kind of doing his thing, but for the most part, the popularity was like, yeah. And then Vince Carter came on the scene, and then they were extremely popular from about 98 through, what was that, 02, 03. Then he goes to New Jersey, and then the Raptors, of course, go in this dormant period again, and then up through I'd say last year. I mean, really, I mean, it's not to say the Raptors weren't good for like the 4 or 5 years prior to that, but then when the championship, and it's just like, oh yeah, man, shit, the Raptors are the thing, and then of course, yeah, then we're kind of hamstrung by the fact that it's like, well, everybody wants this retro shit, but we can't exactly do it right now, and then of course, Corona happens at the point when we are finally doing this stuff
yeah.
because we finally get the rights to do it, and it's just like, shit, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess at the time when I asked, it was like uh, early November, maybe around that
Okay,
time.
yeah.
I saw him rolling around, but I didn't have as good of a relationship as I had with Hat Club. So next time I make a request, it's gonna be to you guys. Don't worry.
Nice. I mean, yeah. I mean, just you know where to find me. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Instagram. I'll put in a good word for you.
I got, we got some ideas that we can work with. We got the one hat I always want to see you guys redo is that SpongeBob meme hat. I don't know. You guys
Yeah.
recently. You guys got to bring that back. And then
Okay.
the other one would be the scumbag Steve hat. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The douchey guy.
Yep.
The hat. This. Yeah. Let's bring that one back, man. That we got to get that.
I'm trying to remember the exact color scheme on that because I want to say it's khaki.
It's brown.
It was brown. Okay. Because the other color was running through my head is like wheat. If we want to break it down to like something more specific, but
yeah, it's a wheat or Wheaton or something, but it's a Boston hat with that super douchey monogram look. But that hat, I'll give you that, guys, for free. So that hat idea, just take it and run with it.
Okay. I'm curious how that would do. I mean, because I look at the Iverson Boston hat that we dropped, last week, and that was the third time we've done it. And it was, I mean, the first time we did it was kind of like, okay, how well is this really going to do? And it sold okay. Second time we did it, or the more specifically for anybody watching, we're talking about practice hat. Second time we did it, we blew out of them pretty quick. I'd say probably about a day or two. And then, of course, round 3 this last week, that plus the St. Patrick's Day Astros prototype. And it's just like, shit, this thing's gone in like 10 minutes.
I think if you guys tell the story, it'll sell the hat. Because I got the practice hat in 2016, I believe. And freaking out when it came out. I'm like, finally, you guys released the hat. I'm going to buy it right away. People were like, yo, you're crazy. Why would you want that hat? So
exactly.
And then every year since then, around the same time, it's around now, around beginning of May, it's the anniversary. So I would post Allen Iverson with the hat, and people would freak out. So I think if you just released the hat on its own, it wouldn't sell. But if you tell people the story and you give them a chance to know what it is, people will buy anything.
Okay. I mean, that would be from an experimental point of view with the scumbag Steve hat, I'm intrigued by it. I don't know if
You would have
I
bought.
necessarily would buy it, but I know a lot of collectors would, in the same sense of like a, like a Fred Durst red Yankees with the flawless small category, or even like the Spike Lee the red '96 World Series one.
Exactly. Well, that one sold out instantly on your website
Yeah,
like last week, right? So
yeah, and then same thing with like the practice one, the Boston practice one. The first couple times we did it, it's just like, yeah, it sells. A couple days will go by, and it's like we still got some sizes where it's supposed to now. It's just like, nope. If you're not in it in 2 minutes, then it's gone. And so from a collector's standpoint, and seeing how quickly like a lot of our stuff has been going, how has that how has that kind of made you feel? I mean, because okay, first let me ask, how many hats do you usually buy a year?
whoa, I don't know.
Sorry.
Tough question. So okay, so there's also a delay in how much stuff I buy because I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
We can't even get stuff shipped from newera.com straight to us. Like I live closer to Buffalo than you guys do, but
Yeah, exactly.
they won't ship the stuff over. So shout out to some of my friends that that have been able to lend their houses as storage units for me to just ship everything and then put it in a box and ship to me. So I think the last box I got was around 110, 120 hats
Wow.
from TJ, and I think that was only like my February and March purchase.
Because I was gonna say, I remember, I think it was 2 years ago when we still had a bunch of the old USA polyester on field without the New Era flag on the side. Because I remember I think you bought like 10 for me because I had a bunch in my store. Did I send
Yes,
those directly to you, or did I send those to TJ?
I think you sent them to me, and I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like the shipping was almost as much as the hats.
yeah, which is insane.
Yeah, and I remember because yeah, you posted the thing right, and I'm like, okay, what do you have in 8? And you're like, most everything, and then I just circled that.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that,
but I mean at
that,
the same time, I think they were what, 3 for $33 or something like that. So
yeah, I honestly do think you shipped me like 13 hats, and the shipping
yeah,
was very close to what I ended up paying you.
uh,
Right,
I'm
but
sorry.
whatever is what it is. But to go back to your other question, how do I feel about stuff selling out? Like I feel good in the sense that like companies like yours or even independent guys can get involved and they can sell their product fast and
Yeah,
there's for it rather than having to watch some stuff that I buy. Maybe I buy it and then it goes on sale and then you get upset. So I don't know. It's a trade-off, right? So sometimes you take some L's. Like I took an L on the green prototype hat,
yeah,
Astros, but at the same time, I'm happy for you guys because you're not holding thousands of dollars in inventory and having to potentially put it on clearance later. You know,
hmm,
double-edged sword, right? Like as a collector, there's nothing worse than seeing something that you paid full price on and then someone like 3 months down the line, like, yo, look what I bought for $5.
yes,
So
exactly.
I see it on both ends.
Oh no, for sure.
Do I get frustrated? Sure. Do I
Yeah.
not? Am I not able to buy everything? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But on to the next one.
Yeah, and I think the other part of it too, that I mean the frustration that kind of comes with it is there's also the reality that, with the speed that we're actually selling these things out, I mean, the reality of us producing them again or possibly doing a pre-order is become stronger, because it's like, okay, well, if we're able to sell out X amount within this time frame, then it's like, okay, cool, we'll double, triple the order for next time. And maybe it won't go as fast, so at least more people can get a hands on. But obviously, there's going to be that gap of time in between, when we put the order in, goes through production, and then finally ships into the warehouse. I mean, that's, for the most part, I mean, we're talking about like a 3 month wait, which isn't terrible.
No.
But then again, there are some where, for example, like the local icons, which we keep getting asked about, that we did the Yankees and the Dodger ones for. I mean, those ones take about 6 months.
Yeah.
So So how does that feel? I mean, because there's the positive in the sense where it's like, okay, you get to hang on to your money for a little bit longer. But then also the negative of it's like, well, I want this for my collection, but I still have to wait, 3, 6 months for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you buy enough, um, it's not gonna matter. Like for me, even if I get stuff, like I personally, like
Yeah.
on on a personal level, like as Hat Club goes, you guys probably don't think I'm much of a customer because I never order stuff directly. So it's always someone doing the order for me, or I'm getting it shipped to.
Yeah.
So for me, I understand that there's not going to be the instant gratification of, I get the hat and 3 days later it's in my hand. But, I understand that not everyone's going to have that type of patience because they don't really understand the process of
True.
getting approved and, working, with the production schedules and stuff like that. Like even this year alone, if you were to break down this year, no one would have guessed it. But typically, like, China goes on Chinese New Year for like 2 to 3 weeks, right?
Yep.
Then Corona broke out over there, so then they were all freaking out. They had an extended Chinese New Year, and then Corona broke out over here. Then we got freaked out. Half the New Era staff got put on furlough. Nothing new
Yep.
can get approved, and then cargo planes got stopped. So now you got to put everything on a boat. But like nobody cares. The people just want to get their hat and pay their $30 and have their hat, in 2 weeks, but shit doesn't work like that. So sorry.
Yeah, and it's like from our perspective, it's like there's only so much we can do. And
Yeah.
as you mentioned a second ago, with New Era employees being on furlough for the moment, it's just like, yeah, us trying to put new orders in on anything, from an original aspect at least, because at least restocking stuff is a little bit easier because the process has already taken place. So then we're just sending the specs out. But as far as us trying to get anything brand new in during this time frame, I mean, it's dicey right now.
Yeah, you can't even get stuff changed with thread breaks and different colors
Yeah.
and stuff. If you understand that, you're not frustrated, but certain people.
Yeah.
So it is.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it's not a knock on anybody because we're Corona has changed like our clientele. The fact that we are putting out so many different hats. I mean, a lot of stuff that we've had on order for months before this outbreak kind of happened. And so for anybody who's new who doesn't understand like how quickly these things sell compared to 8 or 9 months ago. I mean, we'll go back to, I always say October is kind of like the litmus, but I'll even say September of last year, where we'll drop a new hat and it's like it might take 4 or 5 days for an entire size run to sell out.
Yeah.
And this is when everything was still functioning normally. So like nowadays it's just like, we're trying our asses off to to try and hang on to things a little bit longer so everybody gets a piece of the pie, but it's become more challenging.
Yeah, you guys are the duck on water. Like it just looks like you're casually going along, but there's a lot of paddling going underneath the water that you can't see. So
Exactly.
they don't feel sorry for you, but whatever. It is what it is. You guys
Yeah.
have though, because I'm kind of in the game, making my own stuff and whatever, and it's the same kind of frustration. So
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, because what kind of stuff are you making?
So I've teamed up with Tony Ross, and
Okay.
we incorporated our own brand. It was like random timing. Like the Canadian government was shutting down as we're filing for our incorporation papers, but
Dang.
we've incorporated. So me and Tony Ross, aka the Gorilla Strader, we've paired up and we've started a brand called the Capologist. So it's kind of a play on words. But yeah, so we do our own customs. And shameless plug, hit us up, thecapologist.com. We got Big Dave's pre-order up on there. We got Tony Ross's pre-order up on there. So if they can
Nice.
pre-order you guys, they can pre-order from me too. So
Awesome.
but yeah, so that's kind of thing that we're doing. And it's the same thing. Like we're stuck with design stuck in approval, or
Yeah.
missing the final mid and all that stuff. So yeah, it's trying times, but you try to make the best out of the situation.
Exactly. And then the one thing we are for is as many shameless plugs as you can possibly cram into the show.
Yeah. Catch Catch me on YouTube on Wednesdays and Saturdays with Pierre. We post views from the vault, so there's another shameless plug.
Oh, I got a whole section of questions revolving around that. We'll definitely get to that here in a sec.
Cool. One thing.
So, Facebook, because this is where you and I think first interacted.
Yeah.
Both of us are members of Team Fitted. I so much more now have become a member of 5950 Fitted Hat Society, which, if correct me if I'm wrong, you're one of the administrators for.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
When did that whole thing come about?
A couple months ago, I guess. So I guess when we first, so yeah, like, you're one of the originators. You're in Crew Air 13, right? So
Yeah.
I guess I joined Team Fitted around 2016, I want to say. And then eventually some stuff brought us over. So a lot of us TF members went over to FHS. We caused a little bit of trouble. And then we made some peace. And yeah, I've just been helping Robert try to grow the group, make it a little bit more mature, set some rules.
Yeah.
Get their name shortened to FHS. So now everyone calls them FHS now, as opposed to the long name. But yeah, but it's just a huge group of people. For the most part, they love hats. So I tried to bring a calming influence onto that group. You know, some days are better than others, but you know, we're trying.
I mean, yeah, as anything from a collector's perspective is always going to go.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you know, anyone who wants to join, come join us on Facebook. It's a group of collectors, and you know, we share info on drops, and we assist on people just getting hats from different places or whatever. That's good times. What's
Nice.
your HS right now?
What was that?
What's your impression of how the differences between?
I like it. I would say actually, as far as the dialogue that kind of goes on between everybody, you know, I'm not gonna hate on Team Fitted. It's because, like, I mean, even though I've been part of Team Fitted for years, I never really posted that much. I would always just kind of get alerts and stuff as far as like, oh, hey, you know, so and so tagged you and whatever, and especially anything pertaining to Hat Club is like usually the point in time when I would chime in. But I would say FHS has been a lot more chill. There's obviously been a few moments where it's like, yeah, I'll throw my 2 cents in there. But I mean, and I don't do it to be a jerk. It's just, you know, hey, I'm still trying to play the PR aspect of here's what's going on with Hat Club. Because there's a lot of guys in there that totally get it as far as like what's kind of been going on. But then there's a little bit of mouthiness from time to time, and I'm definitely not going to call anybody out for it. But I try to go in there and at least, you know, hey, calm down, you know, here's why things are going. So it's been cool. I would say like the engagement level seems to be much higher than I ever saw really with Team Fitted. And especially considering, because you guys have what, like 6,000 members in FHS right now?
Yeah, it's about 10 times.
Yeah. And I want to say for what, Team Fitted, there was maybe like 200?
I think there's 500 registered owners, but probably 200 active users, maybe, give or take. I mean, there's a lot of people, you know, in and out, and maybe they just come here for the entertainment, which is fine, right?
Yeah.
Active members probably around 200. I mean, it's just now that you don't go to the store every day and post your selfie. So I mean, we lost
exactly. What would you say? Because I don't. Do you collect anything else like really besides hats?
Jerseys, Jordans, tats, hats.
Yeah. As far as other, you know, kind of collector groups and such, what would you say is like really the biggest difference between like the hat collector societies compared to, we'll say, like Jordans or jerseys or anything like that?
I think if you're collecting anything, I think hats are easier to kind of just get in as an entry point. You know, it doesn't require a lot of money to, you know, buy hats. I mean, if you buy them at the rate that we buy them at, okay, yeah, it costs a lot of money. But I mean, for the most part, if someone's just collecting, and that's what's really cool about what's going on with Hat Club and kind of the wave that Justin kind of started.
Yep.
in Soho stores that you're seeing a lot of people get into fitteds that either it's their first fitted or one of the first fitteds that they've bought. So that's kind of cool. And there is a for the most part, I would say, in these groups, like if you're asking someone for information, they're usually not an asshole and they can kind of mentor you on the way.
Which is funny because I'm staring at the comment by Soccer Boy Cooper. Hat collectors are definitely more friendly from my personal
Yeah,
experience, at least.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, like compared to people who collect shoes or other stuff or cards or even I hope that hat collectors are more humble. And that's the general.
Yes, I can definitely attest to that.
Yeah.
But I've never been a shoe guy, so it's like I've only really heard stories. I've been a jersey collector for like way longer than I've been a hat collector.
Yeah.
And I mean, from my personal experience, I've run into some pretty cool people doing that. And especially anybody who hits me up, which especially over like the last 2 months has been a little bit more regularly, just because my jersey collection has exploded over the last year.
Yeah.
Because I'll go out of my way, and it's just like, hey, go here, or if somebody tells me, and this kind of goes for the same for the hats. It's like, oh yeah, give me your size, give me which one specifically you're looking for, and it's like I'll give you a heads up if Hat Club is going to have it, or if I randomly come across one on eBay of something discontinued, it's just like, oh yeah, here's a link,
Yeah.
do with it what you will.
Yeah, I know nothing about the champion jerseys that you collect, but if I ever that's for sale, I can send it to you. I don't even look at it. I'm like, okay, cool. This guy's got champion jerseys. I don't know if they're the ones you're looking for, but take a look. So,
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I'll say about the champion jersey, it's definitely a very specific niche. Um, and once again, I mean, because in comparative with me, as far as like, because from like 2002 and beyond, I mean, when Puma got into it, Nike got into it, and then it became Reebok and Adidas, and then Mitchell and Ness started like really hammering a lot of stuff out. Um, but for me, it's still going to be the champion ones, which is good in the sense where it's like, all right, everything that's ever been made or going to be made by Champion is already in the market because they went from 91 to 2001/2002, whereas all these other brands, now that Nike's got it back, it's just like they're bringing all this new stuff out. So at least with me, it's like, all right, I've got my endpoint and I've got my list as far as what I know exists, and so it's a matter of just kind of filling in the holes from there.
yeah,
I mean, compared to hat collecting, because I pretty much only get minor league on fields, major league on fields, and so I've got my mental list, and as far as like an actual written down list is too, for ones that, especially like old turn back the clock ones that I'm hoping that we can still put out slash ones that I'm hoping teams will use going forward. So I mean, yeah, I'm still kind of pegged into that. So at least there's a finite number that I'm looking at, but at the same time, it's like, oh well, this team just changed their logo again, so it's like shit. There's another one I got to add to the list.
yeah. It's almost better to have it that way, that you see that there's a kind of an end to it.
Yes,
Cool. But then once,
from personal experience, I can attest to yes, it's great to have an endpoint in this.
yeah, exactly.
What is the biggest challenge that you face personally as a cap collector?
Uh, Challenge. Not having enough money to buy everything. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's a fair one.
Um, yeah, I don't think there's any like really much like huge challenges or anything like that. I don't see. It's a game. You don't take it too serious. You buy what you like.
Mhm.
I mean, it gets annoying. Some people will assume everything's for sale. I guess I don't know. Like you
Yeah.
see some, but like I'm what Chicago Joe calls a black hole collector. Once it comes in, it's not coming out. So there's times where like you could try so hard to get a hat you finally have in your possession, and then 5 people hit you in the DM like, "Yo, how much?" I'm like, "What do you mean?
Yeah.
My hat, right?" Like, yeah.
Because have you done any like we'll say like some high value trades or anything of that nature?
Not really. I'll buy people's stuff. I don't really like buying used, but yeah, I'll buy
Yeah.
people's stuff sometimes. But for the most part, yeah, I don't really like trades. Like I like just getting it, and then Like if I'm making the decision to buy it, like it's already it's coming home with me. It's not going anywhere. So yeah,
Nice.
that's kind of how I treat it.
Awesome.
Everyone's different though.
All right. So going back to 5950 Fitted Hat Society, FHS, as a couple people have been, I've seen question marks about it. FHS Fitted Hat Society for anybody listening in. Take us from your perspective, like a typical day of posting.
For me to post or for me to read the post, or like
Uh, Both. Why not?
yeah. Well, for me, like
Which one's more mentally demanding for you?
uh, I mean, it's all like done by choice, I guess. So it's not really that demanding. But yeah,
Yeah.
just on seeing what's you know, some people will post hits in terms of um, like what's going on sale or where to get it. Always discovering new brands. There's a lot of people that post their fitted of the day. I'll do it if it's a nice, if it's a nice. I usually do post my fitted of the day, but because we're in lockdown, I'm not going
Yeah.
anywhere. Not like I'm putting go to the washroom or anything, but yeah,
Yeah.
you're always going on to see what's happening. I mean, almost every day at 2 o'clock, you get the people crying about getting shut out from Hat Club sales and stuff
Sorry.
like that. So, we're trying to put an end to that, but they don't understand.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, if anybody hears the most of it, it's this guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm trying to influence the community to kind of try to not do that kind of stuff, but whatever. They
I mean,
they talk about
and yeah, I want everybody to know it's like I don't take personal offense to it. I understand how frustrating it is. So I appreciate you stepping in and and forming a minor barrier for
yeah,
me on that.
yeah. I try, man. I
No,
everything.
I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, we're trying to help, but like as you say, right? Like it's easier to what attract bees with honey rather than vinegar.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying? Yeah, yeah. So we're trying to put a positive spin on stuff. So
exactly.
yeah.
Nice. What has been the what are like the criterias for joining the group? Is it something that like anybody can just kind of join if they want?
Yeah, yeah. So there's a couple membership questions that we've put up, like make sure you're not committing hate speech, and make sure you
Yeah,
understand the fitted group, and um, yeah, stuff like that, and some general rules if you're looking to sell something, make sure you're an active member, stuff like that. But for the most part, yeah, we accept everybody.
nice. Um, Views from the vault. You had mentioned this a little bit ago. Airs on Wednesdays.
Mhm.
Give me all the details on this. Pierre went for a good couple minutes on this, and I was very intrigued. So I want to
Yeah.
hear since you're involved with it as well. I want to hear your perspective on this.
So I guess it all started from just me starting to do like weekly videos on my own. So I used to do a bunch of videos with the homie out in Portland now, Brian Bowdry. So
Yeah,
we would do like weekly calls where we would just unbox our stuff and just kind of chat it up and talk and whatever. So then Facebook removed the feature where you can bring someone on. So I was just doing
yeah,
solo for about a year, I guess, just kind of shooting the shit and just participating and talking to people and just showing people what I bought and whatever. So it kind of evolved, and then um, over the last couple months, I got real close with Pierre, and we had the idea to, you know, start something where we can give people a platform to kind of just show their shit off. So
yeah,
made it a good point to try to bring on creators and collaborators. So whether you work with us or not, we try to bring you on. So like one of our first guests was Adam from Over Your Head.
yep,
Uh, Tony Ross was a guest. Jason Mead, who runs the shout out Jason, who runs the Instagram 5950 that has
yep,
all the releases from everybody. We tried to bring him on. We had Justin on yesterday, so it just gives everyone a chance to number one, have a place to get aggregated news for fitted releases, drops, whatever, and a place to kind of meet the crazy creators in the world, right? Like
yeah,
normally how it was before. It was like, all right, you'd get an email like, okay, Dynamic Danny's releasing a hat in 5 minutes. Get your wallet ready. But you didn't really get like a good story behind, what's he doing, or what's he releasing. And there's just so many crazy artists out there that are just creating cool shit that we wanted to create a platform so that everyone can, kind of hear it from the horse's mouth and kind of
Yeah.
pull the people out and make public appearances and address the people and sell their goods. And it's been fun, and we just want to keep doing it. So any of the creators out there that want to come on the show, you guys are more than welcome to. But yeah, there's just a
Where would
lot of
I was gonna say for anybody who wants to join the show, where could they hit you up at on that one?
sliding the DMs. Chen me on your spot. Yeah, if you ask around, you'll find me. But yeah, anyone. Like, there's so many crazy collectors. Creators, and you've brought on a bunch on your live so
Yeah.
recently. So anyone else that's left, you want to do a double dip, you guys are more than welcome to jump on.
No, for sure. Because I mean, the more the merrier on any of this. And I mean, I'm still trying to find more people to kind of get lined up for like the next few months. I mean,
Yeah,
even though we're talking like down the road, but we're still in a position much like you guys where you're doing a weekly show out of this. We're kind of trying to do a weekly, but maybe hey, it expands out to 2 days a week or 3 days a week. Do you
yeah.
guys think you would expand into that kind of territory as well?
Well, right now with everything locked down and everyone being more free, it's like a good time to have as much content on as possible. So right now we're on
Yeah.
two times. We're gonna try to make it Saturdays. Maybe we might shift to Saturday to Friday, but we want to do like more interactive stuff like hat battles and stuff like
Yeah.
that, or roundtable discussions with different people amongst different categories. Like last week, we did a show that was strictly about new era collabs and the influence on culture and branding and sports and all that stuff. So, like as stuff arises or um, as topics come up, we'd love to bring on, whoever it is, the expert on the situation, and just kind of chat it up.
How much prep would you say has gone into? Well, how many episodes have you guys done so far? Has it been 5 or 6?
So we've been doing it for 5 weeks officially, and each week has had at least 2 episodes. So,
Okay,
so
so
the
we'll
way,
say yeah, like 10 or more in a sense.
yeah,
How much preparation would you say goes into each episode?
uh, a fair amount, but we've been blessed with people that have been helping us kind of automate the stuff. So we got our homie out in Asia, Hoon. He's helping aggregate all the news for anything that's coming out in um, like Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, all that kind of area covered. And then
Yeah,
Jason Mead aggregates all of the pictures and sends it to me in a zip file once a week with all of the different releases. So that I have everything ready. And then for me, I'm just putting them into like a slideshow or whatever. But he's doing all the work, automated the whole process. Like anything that comes out on your website, or I think 250 verified websites, he just gets the pictures pulled with the description.
yep.
He sends it to me at once. I pull them, and then I just build it into a keynote presentation, and then we're off to the races. So I would say probably a couple hours a week, give or take. It's not a lot of work, but I like hats, so it's fun for me.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, and it's also incredibly helpful that you and Pierre know so much about the industry, especially, I mean, more so. I mean, going before what everything's happened with Corona, et cetera, et cetera. So at least you guys, I feel like you guys have always had the content available to not necessarily rely on, oh, hey, all this new news that's coming out, but then at the same time, it's just like it's more fodder for you guys in a sense.
Yeah, yeah, and then I think, well, the original pitch was to do a four-person show, but the other two guys were a little bit camera shy. Shout out Chris, shout out TJ, but it was supposed to be a four-man show, so we could have split the work in four equal pieces, but
Yeah.
they're a little bit camera shy, so it had to be me and Pierre.
No, I going from personal experience, I mean, I think I'm I mean, outside, I'm gonna shout out Derek on this one for the old "What's on Deck with D's" that he was doing a couple like a year or two ago. I'm probably the only other person in the company who's not camera shy, just because I actually have camera experience.
Hmm.
Um, how how is that for you? I mean, just kind of getting out, or were you doing kind of like on camera stuff before that?
No, never. Just it was honestly it was a thing because shout out to the TF guys that made the TF TV channel. They gave us fitted content for weeks on end, and it was like a
Yeah,
different every day. So Chicago Joe, um, Interstate 19, John Bear,
yeah,
E-Lock, Big Dave, all these
Big
guys
Dave.
were just making cool shit every single week. Schwartz, shout out to Brett Schwartz. Um, and then suddenly, like all good things, it just ended, and I was like, what am I gonna do with my nights? I love all this fitted content is over, so just getting asked to do it myself. So I wasn't someone that likes the camera or likes attention, but it was just if you want it done, you got to do it yourself sometimes. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Um, so what is like the segment breakdown of the show that you guys do? And then especially details on the cat battles that you guys have been doing.
Yeah, so Wednesday is our kind of like our staple show. That's Views from the Vault. We just like this week was Views from the Vault 5. So we started. Um, this week was different because we had Justin on the whole time. So we started at we call it Under the Cap segment. So we get under the cap
Uh-huh.
with PBJ, and he kind of took us through his story. And then from there, normally we would start off with This Week in Caps, and then we would just go through all the releases that came out throughout the week. And then we would go through this week's pickups, and we would just kind of just share what actually came and what we have in hand. Usually my stuff is delayed by a couple of weeks because I'm sending it to somebody who has to then
Yeah.
to me. So it works out because Pierre gets everything, I guess, a little bit early. So by the time it's in his hands, it's current. So we do This Week in Caps, and then that's pretty much the show. And then for the cat battles, we bring on contestants, and we're going to be handing over the reins a little bit to Jason Mead and Adam.
Okay.
They're going to be setting up like weight class divisions, like
Ooh.
0 to 100 caps. You're like a flyweight, and then like 100 to 200 or whatever. They're still working out the details. But this Saturday we have a 2-bout 4-man battle. It's going to be heavyweights. It's going to be the Commish versus Big
Nice.
Dave. So the Commish and Big Dave are facing each other, and then it's going to be Chicago Joe versus Big Robert Pierce. So, and then the winners are going to play the following week, and each week is going to be judged by me, Pierre, and a guest judge. So,
Okay.
Davey from Hat Club is going to be a guest judge on the final week. So next week,
Excellent.
and then Sean Stay Fitted. So he's a fellow YouTuber / content creator. He's going to be on guest judging for this week's show. So if you want to catch it, catch us live on YouTube. We're going to be streaming, and then we have like categories set up, and winner picks next category, and then it goes best out of 7.
What time do you guys drop or do you guys do those videos?
So Wednesdays we're on live 9 Eastern, and then Saturday normally we're on around 6, but I think this week we have to start it a little bit later. So we're gonna
Okay.
start, I think at around either 9 Eastern or 8 Eastern, something like that. We'll post it though.
Definitely. Be sure to tune in on that one, guys, because they are way more entertaining than I am. I will
Yeah.
humbly admit that.
We're trying to bring the electricity back to the hat game with the hat battles, and it's just something
Do it.
it's just it's not even for really anything other than just sitting around and listening to people talk about hats. That's kind of the gig, right?
Awesome. All right. We're moving on to the most challenging segment of this show.
Okay.
Have you watched any of the shows so far that we've done?
I did, and I was hoping that you weren't going to ask me this stuff because I haven't thought that hard.
I was gonna say it's match game time, baby.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm hoping this goes well. So I don't know if you saw the one that I did with Josh Dusterhouse this last week. So far, he has set the bar with 3 out of 5. Um, so I, of course, am going to do my best to read your brain, and in
Okay.
which case, I'm hoping you're able to read the brain that I've got with all the answers I've clearly already written down. So
Okay.
hopefully we do well on this.
I don't think we will, but let's go. Let's go for
Let's
it.
do it. All right. If New Era was a song, it would be blank.
0 to 100.
Damn it. I went with Dope Hat by Marilyn Manson.
All right. All right.
Um, all right. I'm gonna go Canadian on this one. If New Era was a movie, it would be blank.
Catch me if you can.
Ugh. I went Strange Brew. I went full Canadian with that one. So I will admit I went with the same answer I went with Jamel on that one.
All right.
That was my fault on that. All right, I'm hoping we can match on this one, and I'll admit there is an easy clue being in your face right now. If New Era was a pro athlete, it would be blank.
Well, if you're giving me a hint, let's go with Joe Carter.
Ah!
Who you got?
I originally was gonna put that. I went more recent. I went with Jose Bautista.
Joey Batflip. Damn. Yeah.
Joey Bats. I mean,
He had his own
and
line.
especially for a guy who was the face of New Era for a year or
Yeah.
two.
Yeah, he had a bunch of his own capsules with New
Yeah.
Era. Yeah.
The second most clutch home run in Blue Jays history, I would say.
Yeah, easily.
If New Era was a car, it would be blank.
Car?
Yeah. And I'll admit, this answer's come up more often than any other car.
Car. Huh. I don't know. Let's just say Mustang. I don't know.
That was number 2. The number 1 always seems to be Chevy Impala.
There you go. Yeah.
So
I'm not a big.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of a tough one.
Yeah.
All right, and then last, the most challenging of the questions. If New Era was a book, it would be blank. And before you give your answer, I will admit I used the same answer as somebody else from before. More based on the title than the actual content of what the book is about.
I'm gonna go off the wall. I'm gonna say The Secret.
Damn it. I went The Handmaid's Tale, just because all hats are handmade.
Okay. Fair enough.
But that, yeah, clearly the title of the book has nothing to do with hats. Yeah. All right, final 5, baby. What's your favorite 5950 and why?
That's a hard question. Favorite 5950? I mean, my staple would just be regular Blue Jay on field, I guess. But
Nice.
My favorite like collaboration, like if I had to just wear one hat, I guess from now on, probably from Legends League. Legends League. They're out in Toronto. They do, I don't know, just the coolest hats, I think. Yeah, shout out Legends League.
Nice. Which 5950 is missing from your collection?
There's so many to name, but off the top of my head, Staple did this collab years ago with Beats headphones. So it's got the pigeon with the headphones on. I think you had to buy headphones. I don't know how they knew your size, but that was a collab that's always been. That's a hat that's always been haunting me. And there's another one that's called Canal Street. So it's got like a pattern of that immigrant bag look. So it's like that poly check mark, almost like picnic pattern. It's called Canal Street. That's one that I really want but can never find. Those are like the 2 top grails on my list.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I feel like I remember this. Maybe I'm missing a detail on this because you like as you said with the collaboration with Beats and Staple on this. Wasn't there? No, it was Nike that did this. Sorry, I kept thinking it was New Era. Nike had put out a shoe that was like $30,000, but you also get a car with it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't remember anything about that, but yeah.
Yeah. Um, this is kind of a gimme question for you because of the fact that you already do your own hats. Um, but I guess to expand out more for maybe a hat that's not in your collection, if you could design any hat, what would it be? Or any 5950 more specifically.
If I could design anyone, I would make my own like icon style hat for Toronto. Like
Nice.
that's
What
me.
would what would the logos that would be on it?